All right, everybody, I am back with a brand new DC update. And yes, as the title suggests, Zack Snyder is indeed back. And we're going to talk about that here today. I only have a few photos to show since yesterday's update, but the fact that Zack is back was big enough just to do a video on that. But before I get into the photos, I wanted to run something by you guys that is important to my channel. So I am on the road to 20,000 subs, and I can only do that with your help. Now, I have thought about spinning off to a brand new channel called Heroes, Hoodies, and Hawaiian Shirts, where I just strictly on that channel talk about DC-related stuff, heroes, maybe even some Marvel stuff, and that just stays DC. And that my review channel here stays movie reviews and product reviews. I wanted to run that by you guys because what's happening is my audience here is definitely coming for the hero stuff, but the movie reviews don't get nearly as many views unless it is superhero related. But my channel was always meant to be a review channel, and I can only upload 3 videos a day that will be promoted by YouTube. So I am thinking about spinning off, and I wanted to see what you guys thought about that. Leave your comments down below. All right, but let's get into today's stuff. This is going to be interesting. The first thing I saw after I posted my video was this. It says Kelvin Harrison Jr. is rumored to be the one name being considered for Jon Stewart in Lanterns. His previous work includes Cavalier, Elvis, and I don't know how you say that last word. I am not familiar. I never saw Elvis, so I couldn't tell you anything about this guy, but he looks pretty young. If they're looking for a real young guy and a real old Hal Jordan, that could work. But we shall see shortly, because, you know, they are going to be moving on this show, and there should be a lot of information coming out of this shortly. Now, this makes me very nervous about the Penguin. Now, I'm going to remind you guys when I talk about this that somebody is clearly lying or not telling the truth, or there's misinformation out there, because we just had the other day, and I had this in my video, where Matt Reeves, one of Matt Reeves' people, said that the only conversation that Matt Reeves has had with James Gunn had to do with the Batman and continuing this universe, and things were good. Remember, I showed that quote. So this is what somebody asked James Gunn about the Penguin. Is it really the first DC Studios production? Wasn't it already in production when Gunn and Safran took over? So James Gunn chimed in and said it was about to being shooting, yes, but it's the first thing released under the studio banner, and we've been involved since they first started shooting, some of which has been giving our 2 cents to help make it better, but most of which has been getting out of the way and letting Matt and company do their thing. All right, so who's telling the truth here? There needs to be some clarification, because we just had the quote the other day that James Gunn has not been involved with anything having to do with the Batman universe, yet we have James Gunn here saying, yes, he has been involved. And the fact that he's been giving his 2 cents kind of bothers me. I'm not going to lie. And this show starts today, and I will be watching it and reviewing it. But this makes me nervous, because supposedly he gave his 2 cents and his input to Shazam 2, to The Flash, to Aquaman, and to Blue Beetle. And how did those movies turn out? The biggest turds for the studio. And this makes me very, very nervous as to what extent he was involved with this to try and make it better. We shall see. I'm actually looking forward to this show, but yeah, that quote made my butt pucker a little bit here. So here it is. Zack Snyder has confirmed again that he's back in business with Warner Brothers through Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca. All the weirdos who doubted this just continues to look weird. I totally believe he will do some DC again. And this comes from Sil Abdul. And yes, this was news all over the internet yesterday that, yes, Zack Snyder is indeed back and will be directing the 300, the prequel, the miniseries that they plan on doing for HBO Max or Max, whatever you want to call it. This is good news, and this is why people like David Ayer, he posted the Warner Brothers thing the other day, posted, that Warner Brothers tower, and Zack Snyder never talks bad about the studio because they still want their stuff to get released, guys. There's no question about it, and this does leave his foot in the door to have that happen at some point. And some people were pointing out that James Gunn only has 3 or 4 more years on his contract, and that will not take them very far into the first chapter of the whole DCU, which is probably going to be a good thing with all the information that is coming out and more stuff that I'm going to show you here in a minute in regards to the DCU. We had greatness, and it was thrown out the window. Even if he only comes back to do a Dark Knight Returns, I would love to see that happen, especially if they brought back Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill to play those characters. But I will be checking out this show. I'm not a huge fan of the 300 movie, but hey, anything that portrays men as men today is a good thing. I even saw a clip viral yesterday on social media where women are now realizing that men are no longer men in this country, and they're having a hard time finding males who are acting like men when they're dating. It's like role reversal. And I can tell you that it's definitely an engineered thing to have that happen, and it's a shame. Men can be men, but so it will be good to see a show where men are actually men. All right, guys, let's see what we got next here. So I have to give kudos to the artist, Damian Torres. He is the first person I have seen actually do fan art that portrayed the costume as close as they could to what the actual costume looks like. And this is a pretty accurate representation. I'm happy that he did this. So this is good. Kudos to Damian for portraying it the right way. All right, guys, let's see what we got next. So this is what I was alluding to a few photos ago. Now, I don't know how accurate this is. You could put this in the rumor category, but it says a version of the Justice League already existed in the DCU. We already know Batman's going to be older, and there's no mention of Wonder Woman or any of the other League members, as a matter of fact. So we can't expect them to make any type of appearance in the Superman movie, but it is kind of odd, and one of my viewers actually brought this up, that we haven't heard any rumblings about casting The Flash, casting Wonder Woman, or casting Batman. It's kind of weird when you don't have the core Justice League being put together. But you got all these other weird characters and weird projects. But it says the first chapter of the DCU will conclude with an ambitious crossover that's bigger than a simple 6-member roster team-up. And James Gunn may write and direct the project himself. I certainly hope not. But we'll see. He tends to want to have his tentacles into everything that is going on. I want somebody who will take the hero seriously to direct a crossover event. And I can guarantee you it's going to be so big that we're not going to get a focus on the main characters. Gunn is not about the main characters and never has been. And so this is why I don't want him in charge. You can't start this off without focusing on your main characters, and that's exactly what's happening. Yeah, he's doing a Superman movie, but there's been no mention of Wonder Woman, no mention of The Flash, and no mention of his version of Batman or the DCU's version of Batman. That is very, very concerning, but there is definitely some validity to the rumors that they're going to wait until Superman gets released to see what kind of a reception they actually get. Because no matter what, the reviews are on James Gunn's old stuff, they were big bombs for the studio. And so we'll have to wait and see what happens when Superman actually gets released. I'm betting it's not even going to gross $500 million in the box office. That is my prediction. I'm betting it's going to be more around $400 million. In fact, I think it's going to do kind of the same numbers that the recent Alien Romulus movie made, because people are very hesitant to go back into something, even though they want to support it. And Alien Romulus was actually really good, and it's around the $350 million mark. I think this will be very similar to that, but we'll see. I don't think I've ever been wrong with box office predictions yet. Maybe this will be the first. We shall see. All right, so there you have it. That's the big news of the day. If something big breaks later, I will be getting another video up, but I'm not anticipating that because there are a couple big things happening today. First, The Penguin is getting released, which I will be watching, and also Twilight of the Gods is currently on Netflix, and I will be watching and reviewing that as well. So I do have some movie reviews. I still have to review Rebel Ridge and the Tokyo Cowboy movie I saw. Like, I have to get caught up on my movie reviews. So those will be coming as well. And if you guys could help support the channel and actually watch those reviews, that's what this channel was always originally meant to be. Like I said, I can always spin off to a specific channel. I would love your input down below. Let me know what you guys think, and we will see you on the next video.